What's going on, man? So I just want to go over some video here. And just, basically from the 21 season to the 23 season, some things have changed that really stand out to me. Basically, want to just point those out to you. So, this is, 93-9 and 21 against the Dodgers. This is your hardest pitch this year at, I think it was 92-2. There's, excuse me, there's some big differences going on. So, first thing I kind of want to go to actually the front view here where you can really see the difference. So first thing that really stood out to me when looking at this was just, you're getting really open with stride right here. Again, like there's some guys that can throw like this, but to me there's usually a reason why. So when I watch this, like everything's kind of stride open a little bit. It's basically gonna screw up our force vectors where we're trying to direct force to go, and how we're going to rotate. So that was kind of like one first thing that really stood out to me. When I come back and look over here, I look at the front view, and you're always slightly open, which I actually kind of like because you can get a huge stretch hip-shoulder separation, which you do, but a lot more in line, rotated way more, directed force way better through the catcher there compared to here where you're essentially, throwing it, chest is pointing over here, arms thrown over here, whereas everything's directed towards the hitter. And the reason why, this is happening now is simply because you used to coil a whole lot bigger. So look at this position here of, peak leg lift, basically that position versus that position right here. You can see really big coil into the back leg here, versus literally no coil at all right here. So essentially your hips are rotating the same amount. It's just yours are starting way more closed here and basically are landing on time, whereas yours are starting a little more open and ending up way more open per se. So from the side, you can really see it as well too, to where, look at, this position, just look how much, that pelvis is getting closed right through there versus, over here at the 92 where it's just kind of a lift right there. So like that is a huge, huge, huge difference. And that's one of the reasons why you're definitely rotating open more. And we're talking from like a back loading standpoint, like that is huge. Next part of this is as you are coiling, which is why I like the big coil, you're also moving forward while doing it. So watch here how you're moving forward. I don't necessarily love how you were shooting the hips forward, torso staying back, but you're getting everything to move forward, which is huge from a drift and tempo standpoint. And then from there, you could really rotate better off that back leg. And then, boom, like that unwinding is just way, way, way better, getting way more out of that front leg versus, and honestly, like the stretch too, to where, look at the hip-shoulder separation essentially there, compared to over here where everything kind of drags open a little bit more. And the stretch isn't nearly as good. The arm is more late getting in the ground as well too there. So, again, you can just see like at peak leg lift, like you're just in that position right there. Not nearly as aggressive down the mound. Definitely going to affect tempo. Definitely going to affect how hard we throw. Something, that kind of stuff to me is like arm action has changed throughout the years. So back in 21 here, you could tell like a little bit of a flatter arm action. So it kind of just went more out to the side and then kind of up through there. Don't necessarily really love that. Versus here where it's down a little more and then up. So I have a couple thoughts on it. So first being, I like a little more downswing because in theory it should help, propel the arm into a better position at flip up. To me, it's super slow. Now, is it slow because you have no forward move? To me, it looks like you've put on a little bit of weight, just not able to move as fast. So, is that a byproduct of that? Potentially. I think definitely could be. Here, it's a little bit flatter, and you're moving faster. So maybe that's you trying to get your arm, basically on time a little bit better. I think honestly both aren't great, but it's something that we can clean up no matter what, which is huge. But first thing off the get-go, we have to get back to that position of the back. Like that is just so much better, so much more powerful. It's helping you so much more compared to just basically getting nothing out of it and then just kind of going forward really slow. Um, and then actually, funny, like in 22 is kind of a bridge of both, honestly. Less coil, a little bit more of a down arm swing. Still got up to, I think, 93.9, same as the Dodgers video. Um, but you can tell, like, less coil there, less out of the lower half. Arm is capture more momentum on the downswing here. Um, Still getting a little bit of a stretch. Um, Arm still a hair late, but then you go. And one thing you talked about is basically like that dead zone heater. And what was like curious to me when looking at your data was your fastball access has gone down every single year, which makes sense with the more that you stride open. It's going to basically make the arm go into early pronation, not be able to let you rotate. So like this one right here, like you were above 11 o'clock when you were throwing your hardest. So each year the mile per hour has gone down about half mile an hour, and the axis has also gone down as well. So again, you're throwing from there in 21 versus there this past year versus here in 22. So you can see like it just gradually goes down. Again, the lower half in this video is money. It's really good. Like we're maximizing everything. So goal for me is to get you back to these lower half mechanics right here. Clean up the upper half with both. Upper half needs to get cleaned up, and then overall, body weight, moving better. That's got to be another huge focus.